But yeah, you did it. You've been in every chat, Yoshi. I think you're the first. Because I don't think Mel's ever been on Twitch. So yeah, congrats, man. That's a high honor. Here comes some burn after reading. I've seen the end of this story. I miss them now. I found solitude in boundless fury. Let's get this out. Shaking as I finally found my courage. It was buried deep below her bed. We're untethered, never like to meet again. I'm not concerned with your own patience, do I say? Thank you, Robert. Nice to see you out to another stream, man. Hey. There's evidence worth destroying. It's on fire now. Warm my confidence on these embers that won't go out. As I finally found my courage, it was buried deep below her bed. We're untethered, never like to meet again. I'm not concerned with your own patience, do I say? What's up, Moki? You guys gotta check out Carl Strum's music projects, man. They're so dope. And you can make a request, Kyle, but it's very likely I won't know the tune. But I can't promise I won't learn it. It's so nice to see how many people are out, guys. Thank you. Thank you so much. Yeah, hopefully the good vibes continue. I'm going to tune up again. We got some old strings going on. It's almost time. It's almost time for some new ones. We're out here, man. We're out here doing this. Got a new cover and a new demo I'm going to try at the end of the stream. Hopefully very calmly. I might even turn on a metronome just to keep myself honest. All right, let's do it. Crazy Train. I don't know if I can remember Crazy Train. I don't know where it goes from there. You got banned from Facebook already? What have I discovered here? A perspective inspection, a revealing of fears, a hammer that struck. A simple headache, luck could have faked it, but I cut those breaks. Now that we're defined in numbers, now that we won't multiply, a factor that's stuck while we're in motion, properties and promotion. Captain Underground requesting the realness. You're psychic. Fame from accepting a new name, knowing them as a new me. Don't believe everything this says about you. Hold that sense of self you're trying to save. You claim to be a skeptic, my stars will stay the same. Or fun strips of agency, a platonic extortion, a prophecy, a tangle that's taught and self-imposed, praised by those who wield it. We can take some wisdom from this, but wiser words are less sought after. Battle that's best, not fought at all, best just address your bastion. The yurt, thanks. I don't know if you mean my sweater, my hair, or my overlay. Fame from accepting a new name, but thank you. Knowing them as a new man. Don't believe everything this says about you. Hold that sense of self you're trying to save. Emmanuel, I would love to play My First Mortgage, but I don't know it, but I can learn it. The next Nurture Nurture song I'm learning for performance, however, is My First Mortgage. When Am I Supposed to Do Laundry? Because I know Captain Underground and Sosuke both love that song so much, and so I really got to give it to them, and we're going to do that one for them. But yeah, that can be next. I really should be able to play all of Nocturnal Panic. I feel bad that I can't. And I love both of those songs. Both of those songs have a very special place in my heart. And My First Mortgage is an interesting position because I feel like I'm overcoming the negative things that I wrote that song about. I feel like my philosophy on those things have completely changed. So it'd be really cathartic to revisit it and kind of redo it from how I see things now. Because that song's like a bitter, acceptance that I'll never do art. But the fact that you guys are out here has me more confident that I can do art for a living. So the lie that My First Mortgage is mad about might not be real. Thankfully. Every time you crawl out from your haunting, it's obvious you're left wanting all the things you left when you went down there. Tangled hair and starry eye, but you're aware again. That's the part I fell for. Can I keep it here? Hope to hope you must ignore. Plan it so we can go on. Identity may feel like the enemy, but that's not what's hurting you. It's your truest ghost. So I get it, Kyle. You're trying to get promo for your band, and that's cool. But not here. Every time we leave our faulty bodies, they call to us. Bad luck catches up while we dream of things we'll do while we still have time. Petty crime and mangled beds give peace of mind again. Hey, Banjo Bird. Identity may feel like the enemy, but that's not what's hurting you. I wish that you could live the truth. Identity may feel like the enemy, but that's not what's hurting you. It's your truthfulness. Oh, I still love playing that one. That is such a fun tune. All right, so we're gonna keep it going. I'm playing a little bit more subdued tonight. And I think I did. I went really hard last night, and I found out that there was like a very minor phase issue. And because I'm so anal and neurotic, I was like, man, I can't let that fly. The replay has to be pristine if our YouTube viewers, and our Twitch viewers, and our Facebook viewers are going to see it. Yoshi has been unbanned. He is back in the Zuck Zeitgeist. The Zuckgeist. Everything in front of me is molded to my touch. And what a rush, could you bear the wine? Now you can judge me on things made public, things of private nature. I am only a collection of my error. Everything in front of you is molded to your taste. And don't you hate the attention when you have decided these will be the flavors that you'll waste? You'll learn to hate the affection. Honestly, you terrify me. Offering your convenient body, my apology never should have crossed my mind. This was never right. I'm so glad you feel better, Yoshi. Just in case you have to Facebook at some point to get an imaginary achievement on the Nurture live stream. But as of right now, you are the Nerdle Chat champion. Now you can digest all the compliments I fed to your ego. I'm in your collection, so just let me go. Everything in front of us is flaking at my touch. I don't expect you to notice when you have decided these will be the new lips that you kiss. Do you expect me to notice? Honestly, you terrify me. Offering your convenient body, my apology never should have crossed my mind. This was never right. Why do I regret? Please get off my chest. All right, we're on to the new-ish portion of the set. Now that we have two new songs that are here for practice purposes, I guess it's time to play the older new songs that I probably should be amazing at by now, but I'm not. Will you stop? I'm left behind alone. Alone in this corner that I built to fit in. My friends all wait next to the habits I've abandoned. A Minecraft show would be so sick. How do you do that, Ian Splash? Will you teach me? Help me set it up, I'm there. I play with my nephew all the time, so like I can kill creepers, but that's about it. You should have another drink. All your friends would come back if you have another drink. This falls black. Will you stop? I'm far behind. Can you stop? I've fallen so alone, but I accept I am the one pushing you away. I know we will never stick together playing these games. Hey, JF. Will you stop? I'm far behind you. Can you stop? I'm falling so far. Will you stop? I'm far behind you. Can you stop? I've fallen so far. Zach, what's going on? Probably for another like half hour or so. Yeah, I'm gonna do a few more songs. Why, what's up? Nice to have you and nice to meet you. So this next song is called Heart and Panic. Maybe not a half hour, it might only be like 15, 20. But I'm gonna stick around for a little while. Harriet, I'm the soundtrack to your Overwatch games? My absolute pleasure. I'm glad you're enjoying it. That's awesome. That's really cool that you guys game so much. Like, I love video games too, and I'm never quite sure like what I should play, because I would like to play games with you guys. Like, I really love Minecraft, and I would absolutely play Minecraft with y'all. So like maybe we could do like a server for the Discord or something like that. And if you guys are here and you're new and you do want to join our Discord server, it's just a click away, and it's a great place to come hang out with us. So I would definitely recommend you come chill. Let me just grab that for you really quick. Not only is it like a nice place to come meet the rest of the community and get to know people and like learn how to play math rock and stuff, but it's also a really great place. We have a support group there, so if you're having like a hard time with your mental health, we get together and we teach people coping mechanisms. If you're having like a hard day and you need someone to talk to, then we've got people there. So I just recommend that you guys join the Discord. It's a great place to be. I love everybody that's there. So here you go. Here's the little link if you're out there watching and you'd like to join. Even if you just want to lurk and see all the good resources that we post, I highly recommend it. All right, let's do Heart and Panic. This is our most recent single. It's on all of these platforms down here if you want to listen to it. I love this song. It's one of the coolest songs I've ever recorded. The ending is just like, I don't know, man. The ending is so cathartic for me. So I really hope you share in that and you get to watch that song. For my corporate likeness, didn't notice fleeting. Doorway swallows me as you reach my hand. I can tell you're trying, I can tell you're mad, but I can't say I see you trying. I can't say anything while my head soars. That I cried, I knew that you stayed until I could steady my breath. I know you will stay here after this. I know you will stay here after this. I know you will love me after this. I know you will love me. Thank you for saying this is beautiful, and thank you so much, Zach. It's so nice to have you guys. I know that we don't hang out on the stream very often, and I'm so glad to have you here tonight. I'm so glad you joined the Discord, Zach. It really is a great place. And Ryan, welcome. Very nice to have you. Yeah, that part is always so cathartic for me. If you've heard the official recording, it's on our YouTube channel. It's on Spotify. Make sure you save it and add it to a playlist so that the algorithm monster knows that we're important and or whatever. Yeah, so that part's really cathartic because we had to record the vocals and the guitars twice. But that vocal part was like an improv kind of end of the day, end of a really long vocal slog that I finished and like put out there as a kind of a creative thing, and I'm just really happy it survived. And it symbolically represents the relief that I have now that I don't have panic attacks as often anymore, and the things that I'm realizing about myself. And yeah. Thank you so much, Ryan. Welcome, welcome, welcome everybody to the Discord. It's a terrific place, guys, seriously. One of the most supportive communities I've ever been a part of, bar none. And I quit drinking with online communities alone, pretty much. That downplays the support of the people, the real people in my life, who meant a ton and helped a lot. Yeah, Zach, so the mental health awareness thing, I actually like to call it mental health activism instead. So for the first two singles we released as a real band, my drummer Scott and I, we focused on the themes of the lyrics, the first one being Lonely Habits, which is a song about alcoholism. And instead of just talking about the lyrics, we actually started an addiction and mental health support group, because online support groups is how I quit drinking, because I had an unhealthy relationship to drinking. So we started a support group. We invited people there. It's within the Discord. So if you struggle with your mental health or with alcohol, we get together at least once a month and cover a new topic. We go over peer-reviewed research, talk about self-led coping mechanisms for you, for whatever illness you have, so that we can kind of bridge you to getting actual mental health treatment from a professional, because we recognize how poor access to mental health services is, and that's why we started the support group, and that's why we get together monthly, and that's why we call ourselves mental health activists, is because a lot of people will say they're about advocacy and they're about awareness, and that's good, and like you do need that, because obviously the world does not understand. Obviously, the world takes a lot of convincing that a pandemic or an illness is real at all. So we need all the help we can get, but we're very much a band of action. And for our second single, we partnered with real counselors to get professional advice for panic attacks, because that's what that song was about. And I'm realizing that like that's a difficult way to do it. So we're going to continue our advocacy in our Discord, and I'm going to continue my advocacy in my real life. Like I volunteer teaching guitar to at-risk youth, and I just do a lot of things in my community. I'm a volunteer with refugees as well. So I recommend that you do that too. We might not be as front-facing on our YouTube channel and stuff like that, because the videos don't get a ton of views, and I think we just have to focus on growing as a band and making this platform as big as possible so that we can use that power or whatever breadth of platform to really support people in a bigger way, you know? Because it's great, and I'm so grateful to bring advice from counselors to you guys, but it's like we have to do enough for ourselves to survive and grow as a band so that we can get big and provide support to people in an even better way, you know? No problem, Zach. Like, seriously. I struggle with stuff. And, like, you know what? Like, I got to check my privilege, too. Like, I struggle with stuff. But, like, I'm lucky because I have access to the internet. I have access to, friends and family and stuff like that. And it wasn't even easy for me to quit alcohol. An incredibly ubiquitous and destructive thing. So if it was hard for me with all of my privilege, like how hard is it probably for everyone else, you know? And that's why, like, I'm driven to do this. It's part of who I am, what I want to be. So my pleasure, man. My pleasure, absolutely. And I'm really sorry you struggle with addiction too. It's a nightmare. It's a nightmare, man. It really is. Yeah, I remember relapsing once, one of my casual quittings, and after it happened, just like screaming at the top of my lungs, just, like literally so mad at this freaking chemical. You can get addicted to Facebook too, Yosh. All right, this song's called Up There. It's going to be coming out in December. We'll start the fanfare about this single release very shortly, once we're done talking about Heart and Panic. The acoustic video comes out this Friday, so make sure you're subbed on YouTube if you're not already. So this will be the single after that. It is up to us to help just anyone. There is no help coming from up there. Those who can't believe themselves, tell them what is true. Those who can't believe themselves. This has not been cared for, hidden in a safe place. It will not be cared for in the same ways you would board. Pry no more. It is up to us to help just anyone. There is no help coming from up there. Those who can't believe themselves, tell them what is true. Those who can't believe themselves. They are there, they can listen. All we can be is all that we are told comes from above. You quietly cure this. I can feel the weight lift. I know you are strong. I was not expecting to carry this song. It is up to us to help just anyone. There is no help coming from up there. I can't believe myself, tell me what is true. When I can't believe myself, we deserve love. We should have a love. All right, thanks, guys. I'm gonna get a metronome going because I've played these songs a couple times live, and I get so excited and overwhelmed that I start to mess them up. So I'm gonna get a metronome up, I'm gonna turn on my monitor, and let's do, that's okay, Captain Underground, thanks so much for coming out. And I'm gonna do a demo, and I'm gonna do a cover, so I hope you guys enjoy these very shaky tunes, but I'm so grateful you guys came out tonight, and it was nice not having like the Reddit stress of, you know, pleasing the algorithm and getting upvotes and stuff like that. Like it was really chill, and I love that. So it was so nice to talk to you guys a little bit more and not feel rushed. And who knows, maybe it'll just let go of Reddit. Maybe it's not worth the stress. It's pretty good though, it gets you out there. All right, so this next one, it's a demo that we're working on it now and rewriting it, and it might not come out for a long time, but yeah, here it is. Color runs scared anyone that can listen. Would you lend me your care? Change this tint that everything fades to. Paint my mind so I recall my own shade. Tiny brush, only one I know to draw lines. Tiny brush that I know to draw mine. My lifeline, breath of all outside, where
that you see in me, strength I would hide from. You help me become all the good virtue I call untrue. You apply your love to what I could. Blue and gray dress code, I prefer my plain clothes. Tiny brush name, no smarter than the host. That color palette shows while building glass. I can be all good. You see in me color, shade I cannot hide from now. You apply your love to what I become. I repaint lies I lie behind. We all paint lies I live by. Please paint, I don't have to hide. Now I feel so bright, tiny flecks of light. I can be all good. You see in me color. I no longer hide. From now I'll shine so bright.
Thanks, Ryan. I'm glad you like the new tune. Harry, you say, I see a lot of tellies used for math rock stylings. Do you prefer the Epiphone for this style, or is that just your favorite guitar in general? And Yoshi says, one time I streamed myself doing homework on Reddit, and like 30 people watched it. That's pretty big, man. Even just 30 people on a stream that's awesome. I have streamed to know people. I've played shows to know people so many times. And that's often a sign that like you're not doing something right, but I didn't listen to it. But yeah, so the Telecaster thing. The Gibson is definitely a preference of mine. So I started using Gibsons a long time ago when I got a Gibson Les Paul. The Les Paul is my favorite guitar by far, just as like an electric rock out indie, like nice heavy big boy guitar. And so anyway, so I got used to the Les Paul, and you know that's a Gibson guitar, so it likes bigger strings, and I like what bigger strings do for sound, because it keeps your strings in tune longer, makes your sound a little bit thicker, which is going to be necessary for our two-piece. We have to have a little bit of a thicker sound right on the front end, otherwise things aren't going to sound as good. And yeah, I just. So there's a bit of brand loyalty. It wears thicker strings a little more easily, and I think other than that, it's just comfortability. I think if you're I've never been much of a gear junkie. Have you guys ever seen those YouTube videos of a dude like playing the craziest guitar you've ever seen in your life on a single string, on like with a hole in it, and like homeboy's just got like an African flag on his head, and he's just like shredding, and he's like the best guitarist you've ever seen, and it's like one string. I think, what is his name? Maybe it's two strings. And he's shredding and he's singing. Yeah, Emmanuel, that's him. So like what, Telecasters are so much money. And you don't need anything. And if you like that, like that's cool, man. Like if you like collecting guitars and you like that, like you need that last kind of, that bit of sweetness, but like, Nirvana wasn't playing expensive guitars when they made it big, or expensive instruments. Many people weren't. Great music can be made on pretty much anything. Great art can be made in the worst of circumstances. And I love things. I love doing more with less too. And I have this fear that my guitar will give out, so I like having a relatively inexpensive guitar. So we are in drop D because we're gonna do a Paramore cover. This is That's What You Get by Paramore, and it's a new cover for me, so it's a little tough, but I wanna keep practicing it. One of my favorite covers that I've ever played. I do it math rock style. I hope you guys enjoy it. It's gonna be available on my personal Spotify and YouTube channel very shortly. November 6th is when it comes out, so let's play it, let's get good at it.
No, sir, no, I don't wanna be the blame, not anymore. It's your turn, so take a seat, we're settling the final score. And why do we like to hurt so much? I can't decide. You have made it harder just to go on. And why? All the possibilities, but I was wrong. That's what you get when you let your heart win. Whoa, whoa, whoa. That's what you get when you let your heart win. Whoa, whoa. I drowned out all my sense with the sound of its beating. That's what you get when you let your heart win. Whoa. I wonder, how am I supposed to feel when you're not here? 'Cause I burned every bridge I ever built while you were here. I still try holding on to silly things I never learn. Oh, why? All the possibilities I'm sure you've heard. That's what you get when you let your heart win. Whoa, whoa, whoa. That's what you get when you let your heart win. Whoa, whoa, whoa. I drowned out all my sense with the sound of its beating. That's what you get when you let your heart win. Whoa, oh, make your way to me, 'cause I'll always be just so inviting. If I ever start to think straight, this heart will start a riot in me. Let's start. Hey, why do we like to hurt so much? Why do we like to hurt so much? That's what you get when you let your heart win. Whoa, that's what you get when you let your heart win. Whoa, that's what you get when you let your heart win. Whoa, and I can't help myself with anything but this. That's what you get when you let your heart win. Whoa.
It's a tough one. It is a tough one, but we'll get there. It'll get better every week, I promise. Thanks, guys. Thank you so much for coming and hanging out. That was really fun. It was rad, Manuel? Oh, I'm glad you liked it. This part, like I had to add a capo. I could play it without a capo, and then I was like, dang man, Haley sings really low for a lady. I thought I could just sing it an octave down, but like she, Lizzie Russ, thank you, man. I'm glad you enjoyed it. So yeah, I've had to relearn it with the capo, and that makes it hard. This part I always forget. So it's like really hard. La La Lulu, do I have a telly? No, I do not. This is it. This is the guy right here. Epiphone dot. This is the one, and I think this is probably my favorite ever guitar. Like, I love Gibson guitars. I know that there's some brand loyalty there. I'm probably gonna branch out and try some other brands just for like cost's sake, because I know someday I'm gonna put a hole through this thing and we're gonna need a backup guitar. So I know even JF, Homicidal Data over on Twitch, said they'd help me navigate some discount guitars at some point. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to working my way around, but I doubt I'll ever get a Telecaster. I'm not doing enough with music. I don't know if that's the way to say it. It's like, I'm not successful enough to justify the cost yet. I'm in the red with music. I'm still investing. I'm taking time out to make the songs and like, you know, growing my education in music and doing all that stuff. So it's just like kind of unrealistic for me to make a huge investment in something that will only improve the quality of my music by like a little bit, you know? And I don't know. I was saying this earlier, but the cheapest guitar you found on Amazon was $150. That's sweet. You could probably make it sing. I think the worst thing that happens with like cheap guitars is that the frets are uneven and the intonation sucks and things go out of tune regularly. But you can suffer and get through a recording with that, and hopefully leverage that recording into something that makes you enough money to to afford a better guitar. Or just save up, you know, sacrifice other things. But, and yeah, like I don't see that as being as difficult, but like in my recent history, in my near future, I don't see it being as difficult to save up, because like this art, this music that I'm making is what I'm doing. I don't know if we've like talked about that. I know that most of the time we're talking about mental health and stuff, but what kind of guitar do you recommend? You're in the bathroom. I would recommend the Dot. Like when Jeff has his signature model with Epiphone. I hope so. Yeah, I would recommend the Epiphone Dot. It's cost effective. It can handle huge strings. So if you're playing this style of music, or you're playing any kind of rock music, you should use thick strings because it gives it more body and they stay in tune longer. It's just more practical. Yeah. But anyway, yeah, I haven't mentioned that like my commitment to my art is really coming through. Like you guys being here and supporting me in this way, and just like escaping the kind of biases that I had before. Like this is what I am, and I suffered a lot through my life trying to convince myself that I'm not an artist and that I would have to do the corporate thing, and I've done a lot of things that are counterintuitive to myself. And, you know, I probably hurt other people, and I probably did some negative things because of that pain that I was feeling, that dissonance I was feeling with my reality. So yeah, like I'm in it now, guys. So I don't think I'll find it difficult. Long story short, if I had to buy a Telecaster or something more expensive or replace a guitar, I'd find it easier now because I've given up a lot of things, and I would give up more to make music. But I can see that it would be difficult because it was difficult for me to justify anything not long ago. I remember when I used to scoff at, you know, a $30 publishing charge or whatever. But if I can't get $30 worth of royalties out of that track, then I should be focusing somewhere else anyway. Or if my music isn't worth $30 to me, then like, why am I making it? An acoustical classic, and don't even know what brand it's from, but at least it works. Yeah, you know. I think, I don't know. I can't really speak to the higher brands, but if you like me and you like what I'm doing and you like our recordings, then you should be able to do whatever. Ryan, I'm sorry, I did a little while back. Okay, let's talk about inspirations. Yeah, so this music is very much like Nurture very much comes from what Brock Benzel and Pete Davis do in Invalids. So there's a point where like I used to play indie rock music. I think, one of the biggest indie rock songs I wrote had a. So I was writing music kind of along those lines, maybe like a little bit more complex, but with odd time signatures. So I was playing more pop punk, indie rock type stuff. I don't know why, but then I saw Invalids and what Brock and Pete were doing, and I was like, I could do. There is a Jeff indie rock album somewhere, and so I saw what Pete was doing, and I was like, I could maybe learn to do that. Like I might kind of suck at it at first. Here's all my old personal recordings. So I said I might suck at this at first, but I could get good at it, and I'm in for the long run. So he looks really impressive. Like what Pete does is like incredible to watch, and music has very much become like a very visual medium. So I've learned. So when I saw it, I was like, I want to do that. I want to do that. And that goes into a whole other thing. Like I think there's a lot of people in the world who aren't represented in music, and like people of color and women, definitely in Western music. And I think that they should be better represented, so that they can have that moment that I had with Pete. Nurture is very much inspired by Invalids. I love standards. I can play some of Marcos's songs, not as well as he can, obviously, but I love what Standards does. It's just so fun. I love what he does with his brand. That's kind of like one of my favorite things about Standards. Hikes is definitely in there in the Nurture stuff. The Fall of Troy. But then I have some like more abstract influences, so I like to listen to hip hop a lot. Like I like Milo and Earl Sweatshirt and Tobacco, the electronic artists who collaborated with Aesop Rock. They did something called Malibu Ken, and I thought that was amazing, and I love that. There's some pop music that I really love, like Everything is one of my favorite bands. I do know TTNG, yes. I'm definitely influenced by This Town Needs Guns as well. Tube Lord, Color, all of those math rock bands. Like I came up listening to the math rock bands. Like I know what math rock is, and so you're like, yeah, that's very much in my DNA. I think Nocturnal Panic, our first record, is very This Town Needs Guns, or at the very least, I use their style as an excuse to repeat parts, because that's what they often do, is they'll repeat parts. I do listen to Midwest emo as well. Max Seal is probably one of my favorite bands in that genre. A lot of the bands I played with when I was in my indie band, a lot of my favorite local bands were indie bands. I like were Midwest emo bands. I like post-hardcore a lot as well. I like doom metal. I think doom metal is sick. Like it's just in stoner metal, they're just so slow and gross. So my influences are kind of all over the place. If I could pick up an instrument and just play anything, I'd probably pick like Stevie Wonder. But I'm just not there. I don't know if I have the sensibility, or I just don't think I could do that. But if I'm in a place right now where like those funk and soul and jazz influences are really like getting me. Like I want to be Prince. I want to be Stevie Wonder. I want to like understand how those virtuous showmen did that stuff. So that's like a really long story, but I love so much music. I love finding redeemable qualities in music that people hate too. in any art that people might not take advantage of. The Yurt. I used to be the most popular popper Magic the Gathering content creator on YouTube. So I used to have 7,000 subscribers. I was featured in the Tolarian Community College professors in one of their videos, and like really blew up from there. And I was like this close, I think, to getting reasonably paid for it. But I was like, there wasn't a lot of up from there. It was like I was going to be a popper creator, and like I had a very limited medium that I could use. So it's like I had to move on. It was just tough. And I was using it more as escapism than as an actual kind of like artistic outlet. And I feel like I was putting a lot of load on my audience to like continue to support me, because they needed what I was doing. They really wanted what I was doing, but I feel like I could have done better. And like that constant feeling like really hurt me. Okay, so we're going to talk about some bands that people don't like. That's some people. I like listening to lesser-known math rock bands. Mirror, never heard of them. What Time Does Your Train Leave Today by Gaston? Haven't heard that either. Broken Side, I remember Broken Side, but I don't think I can speak to what Broken Side does. I can't remember well enough. 100 gecs, I've heard a couple of their songs, and like whatever, I guess. Like I'm ambivalent about it. I don't know that it deserves hate necessarily, but I also don't know, like, yeah, I don't know, like, I think that they have a lot of pop appeal, and I appreciate that they're doing like the Ween thing and being weird about it. So I like that about them. I like that they're like, we're super accessible, but then they like sneak in some really weird stuff to kind of like throw you off. You're like, it's kind of like walking into a bar that you were sure that you were supposed to be at, but when you get there, you're like, these people look super strange. Like, I don't know if I should be here, and you're like checking yourself and stuff. So yeah, that's how I feel about 100 gecs, and I don't mind it. I don't think I go out of my way to like listen to them. Now it's a permanent banger on your playlist. Yeah, that happens. Listening to stuff ironically, like you'll eventually just like it. What do you think of Achika? So Achika Mo, I got some early Chan vibes and stuff from tunes on Nocturnal Panic. Yeah, Ryan, the Chan vibes, are like from Chan, obviously, but like it's the guitar tone specifically. So there's a way that Mario does slides that I love. It's almost like choking a crash cymbal, and you can only pull it off with their tone like that. Like sometimes they just like start songs with it, and there's just a way Mario gets into a note and back out again that I really love. And I think that'll probably stick with me forever. Like when I can pull it off and when I can put it in somewhere. Bends as well. I feel like not many math rock players are bending things. So like if I bend a string, it's got a lot to do with Chan probably. If it doesn't have to do with like Van Halen or some like old, like Dimebag Darrell type thing that I learned a long time ago. Achika Mo. So I love Achika. But I don't like, it's so hard to describe. Like, Ichika's discography isn't how I want to consume Ichika. I like the fact that they're representative of like the guitar zeitgeist. Like something that I'm trying to do on my personal channel is to like take what Ichika's doing, but do it for like in a less Machiavellian way, like in a more in a way, and like to reflect where I am in my music career. Like Ichika is in like this crazy place, and they've become amazing, and they should show it off that way. But I think what they're doing is ultimately reflecting the guitar and the music community and like who we always were. We're just people sitting in a room with a guitar, like trying to play something cool. It was not usually in the context of a full song, and Achika just plays riffs. You're just trying to do something cool. So what Achika does is he gets up there, he sits down, he does something cool. And I think that's a beautiful kind of distilled look at what musicianship in the early stages. My pleasure, Ryan. I'm sorry I'm missing your questions. I don't know if it's like your no profile picture or something. I glaze over it. So yeah, that's what I think about Achika. Yoshi, yellow card, dope. Violin in a pop punk band. They're old school pop punk. I don't know if I dig the violin, but like it's sick. They did something different. The Do, super fun. Cool that they did something different by like going into random chat rooms, dropping in and playing guitar. I think it would be cool to do that in Discords because I can get like a somewhat high quality Discord sound going on occasionally. So I think it'd be cool to maybe do that someday, but they do it better than I ever will. Yvette Young and Covet, I can't say enough about them. Like Forrest is amazing how they collaborate with just like anybody in the community. Their bass player is super talented at complementing what Yvette's laying down. And Yvette is like the most talented polymath of our generation. Like she can do anything better than everyone. And it's just not fair. And she does it gracefully and in a really cool way. Yvette Young grew up to be the person that all of us wanted to be, basically. So yeah, I have immense respect for. I think I was saying earlier that like I saw Pete Davis and I was like I could do that. I think Yvette Young did that for me as well because like Yvette Young really does feel like all of us. Like she's dipped herself into like every medium that you might reasonably run into as an artist and like came out just shining. So I always thought that was really cool. Los Campesinos? That sounds familiar, but I don't. You'll have to send me something in the Discord. Emmanuel, and I'll have to check it out. Invalids, yeah. Invalids is insane. Oh. Yeah, they're amazing. Oh, the Welsh indie rock band, the ones that are like it sounds like they're bad, but they're like always on time, so they can't possibly be bad. Yeah, I don't know, man. That stuff is like so weird. JF, I liken them to like NoFX, who were just like so shitty at their instruments, they were playing math rock and they didn't know it, but they still played it tight and they played it the same way every time. So like whatever, you got to give them credit, right? Grant McDonald, I don't know, man. My verdict's still out on Grant McDonald. God bless them or them or whatever they are for making it somehow. Thomas Iraq from Fall of Troy, like bedrock of the community, and like their struggle with drugs and how open they are about it is commendable as hell. Yvette is the math rock queen. Yup. Like obviously, Yvette Young would make music for a fantasy adventure show. She could do anything. Yvette Young could literally do anything. And I believe that. I wouldn't recommend going into random discords. Majority of the time, they don't care and end up muting you. Oh, boo. How do I feel about math versus Midwest emo? All right, let's do this, I guess, really quick. I'm probably only going to answer a couple more questions, but I'm so grateful for this. I'm so grateful you guys are just down to hang out and chat, and that you're even interested in what I have to say. Thank you. That's super cool. Okay. What was I getting on? Yeah, Midwest emo versus math rock. So let's talk about genres. I think genres are only important insofar as like finding something that you like, but even then it's like kind of inefficient, and honestly like algorithms are just better at it now. Like you used to have to go to Last.fm and type in math rock or whatever site, Pandora. You used to have to tell a website what genre you listen to, or you used to have to tell a person in a record store, or tell a songwriter on Tin Pan Alley, or tell some white dude with a wig in Germany like what kind of music you wanted to hear so that they can make that music. But everything is so blended together now. Like pop music has like post-hardcore emo vocals from the mid-2000s. Rap music and hip-hop has like ballad-style choruses. And like, if pop music is that diverse, Harry Styles has like big, beefy like bass that even like 5 or 6 years ago you'd only hear in those like jazz bands like Snarky Puppy and like Wolfbeck's earlier stuff or whatever. So like, yeah, I don't know. Like, I don't find genres that useful, so I don't really know about Midwest emo versus math rock. I love this genre. I love the twinkly, mopey, yelly, hard to play. I love everything about that. So if it's doing that, then I love it. Yeah. Honestly, if you're doing anything musical, just like don't hurt people with it, and we're good. But yeah, I don't find genres useful. I don't really find like awards useful. I don't find many classifications of music useful at all. Algernon Cobbwaller, not enough. I just wish there was more. They're amazing. I wish there was more. Tim Henson is, Polyphia X Covet Show. Tim Henson is in that same, I have him in the same boat as like Ichika. I feel like Tim Henson is in on this joke that I desperately wish I was part of, where like Tim can, it is sad that they broke up Lazarus. Like Tim can like tap into what people want, and the way that they play with like hip hop rhythms and stuff like that is really fun for me. I don't know if I call it pandering. Like I think they're having a good time. It seems like they're having a good time, and people love their music, and it's catchy. Like I'm really into it. It doesn't seem like insanely complex. I like what he does with octaves, like playing the same note. Like Tim, there's a part in one of our songs. So I did that following a Tim Henson like tutorial video, because Tim was like, you can play an octave in like 3 places anywhere on the fretboard. So I play the E 3 times in the context of that riff. And I really I loved that little piece of advice, but he does all kinds of weird and cool techniques that I don't know that I'll ever be able to pull off myself, and I wish I could. Like I feel like people are very polarized on Polyphia. I kind of hate that emo is the term used for a genre of music. I think it was like when it came about, it's like I said, right? Like I think it was useful for describing the kind of thing you wanted to listen to. I don't really know that the genre name ever meant anything. Like funk is like a bad smell or whatever. or or pop is like a sound, like, like what, I guess it's popular music or whatever, but like any music is popular music. If we know about it, I might be popular music because you guys know who I am. Yeah, I think so long as it isn't noise, it has a little bit of pop in it. Yeah, I don't really know. I don't like genres. It's just useful sometimes, but not very often. I mentioned indie, Mac DeMarco. So my favorite indie is really specific. I used to be really into like Manchester Orchestra. I would consider Say Anything like part of my indie days. Said the Whale, Hey Rosetta. Hey Rosetta's huge, like massive in my indie influences. I would say some of the stuff that like, but anyway, so how I look at indie now is like kind of different. It ends up like, I feel like women get put in indie and they're not in indie bands, but because there's a female vocalist, they like get called indie. So I have a really specific taste in indie music now, and if I'm gonna pick it up, it probably sounds something like the band Retirement Party, which I think are also more of an emo band, or like, what is her name? Lady Lamb the Beekeeper. What she does, I think, is really cool. I like it for fast, like fun, not trying too hard music, and yeah, you could call that a lot of things. A lot of the indie I would listen to is probably like closer to Weezer than anything else. You're right. Post-hardcore should just really be called teen angst, right? Post-hardcore does so. I think post-hardcore should just be called Dance Gavin Dance. Like I don't think like do people mean anything else? They just mean Dance Gavin Dance, right? Or is that Swancore or whatever? Like I don't. Yeah. Or like In Angles. There's definitely like swoopy hair vocals, really crazy widdly dillies or whatever. But Daughter or Ben Howard, I don't know who either of those people are. Weezer fans are allowed to hit on other Weezer fans. I just like Pinkerton, man. I do like other Weezer, but Pinkerton is like Pinkerton is mine, that's my Weezer. Hashtag not my Weezer. But yeah, I think I'm gonna call it quits. Guys, thank you so much. Thank you for asking questions like this. Like I have had so much fun. Usually I just get out here and play our songs, but like this has been incredible. Just like sitting here and chatting with you guys. Like I'm so glad to get to know you. If you're not already in our Discord, please join our Discord. I would really appreciate that. There's some invites up here, further up in the chat, but I'll grab you guys a fresh one and put it down below. I would really recommend you get in there. Our community is amazing. Not only can you like talk about what kind of music you like, we can argue about what emo is like all day, all night, and we can also support you. So if you're going through like addiction or mental illness or something like that, we have a support group where we meet up monthly and we talk about a targeted thing to develop coping mechanisms for as a community. Yoshi and I were talking about some, like fear of your inevitable demise type stuff today and how that's kind of like a common thread throughout our community. So we're actually gonna be talking about that in November, sometime the first week of November. I think it's the second Monday of November. We're gonna talk about that. So thanks, guys. It's been really, really fun, and I hope you have a great night. Thank you all so much. I hope I see you in the Discord.